Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now January 16th of 2024, and I think it's pretty safe to say here that Disney has truly been struggling throughout all of 2023, and it's not looking any better for this year especially, and not even for 2025, with many of the expensive failures for the Marvel Cinematic Universe on the horizon. That's all being led by Bob Iger and Kevin Feige in a very wrong path, mind you. Everything such as Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, as well as the upcoming remake of Blade, have all been going through a lot of trouble as we speak. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So, Bob Iger is not only an incompetent CEO, I think he truly is deliberately and 100% intentionally destroying Disney for who knows what, but we know that there's a lot of things going on behind closed doors between the Disney board of directors and the top shareholders that we can't forget about, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, that are funding all of this DEI nonsense, which by the way stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, which is all hypocritical and contradictory, and really comes from a very bad place because it's never used in the way that they say it's supposed to be used. Now, when you look at stuff like this, we know that Bob Iger has no clue how to handle many different properties like Star Wars, Marvel, and more. This is exactly why many of those franchises are floundering month by month, and it's not looking good for Disney in general either, as Bob Iger was able to address the financial situation over at Disney. Let's get into all of this. Now, with Bob Iger actively engaging in damage control for all divisions at Disney, one major development has to do with Bob Iger admitting a certain truth about the future of Disney and all of its divisions just as they enter the third phase of their cost containment plan. Bob Iger recently delivered the following. Now, as CEO, I believe it is my responsibility to remain truthful with our customers and shareholders around the globe. In light of our outlook for 2024, I am willing to comment and address our cost-cutting measures that will be applied to all divisions here at the Walt Disney Company. I would first like to address that we will be progressively moving forward with reducing the number of employees that we have lined up for 3 of our most valued divisions, which includes Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, and Walt Disney Animation Studios, so that we can fine-tune and right-size our company. This all comes from good intentions on a business level to create an accurate window for what we have in store for the years to come with our many business models, which brings us to the next subject that we should be addressed. Concerning Disney Plus, we will be introducing a number of rate hikes throughout both this year and next, while also right-sizing our content on the platform based on what's in demand, compared to what has been lacking in viewership retention. As for our other divisions like Pixar, we will also be drastically cutting back on our expenses and budgets for all marketing strategies moving onwards for the remainder of 2024 to create a better pattern of how we could benefit from less spending on these strategies. We look forward to also reducing the number of cast and crew members that will be developing many of our Star Wars motion pictures and television series for the next couple of years to spend less and make less, essentially, as per our cost-cutting measure for Lucasfilm, something that we carefully discussed with Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy. Now guys, let me just stop here quick before I move on about what Iger is really establishing here, is that they are cutting back on everything. Employees, marketing expenses, and everything related to budgets of specific productions. And it's not just that, they're also removing content. And we're going to get into that in just a second when it comes to Disney Plus. We already know that Disney Plus is slowly but surely diminishing over time, and it's not looking good in the slightest for next year. We know that people are abandoning ship when it comes to any of the plans out there associated with Disney Plus. Whether you got the non-ad version or the ones with ads or the bundle with Hulu, doesn't matter. People are giving that up really fast. And believe it or not, there's a lot of subscriptions out there that people did not intend to sign up for that came with either some kind of internet package or some kind of cable television service package, and a lot of those make up the certain percentage of those that are not even really using Disney Plus anymore. So what's interesting about this is that we know that Bob Iger is seemingly very stubborn once again. Alright, he is trying to act like this is a breeze, that it's not anything to be too concerned about, that this is nothing to be worried about, either both in the short or long term. He has said this before about a month ago, that he is not worried about the current state of Disney, both, of course, short and long term, when it comes to their properties and when it comes to their business models and their divisions and all. And if you look at the facts, right, when you look at everyone really just giving these movies that have been arriving in theaters bad reviews left and right, the stock being an up and down roller coaster, which is very much unpredictable now for shareholders to kind of remain confident about the future of Disney and where it's heading, this is another prime example that Bob Iger is once again doubling down on really fine-tuning, as he says, or right-sizing the company division by division over time throughout this year. That's only going to make things worse, mind you, for 2025, which already we have a full slate of expensive failures from Marvel Studios for starters. Now, he goes on to elaborate further. I am honored to acknowledge that reducing funds and the number of employees working on all of our divisions will allow us to properly right-size the company over time. That could very well lead into a bright future for all divisions and potentially a new division here at Disney that could explore other forms of art for both the big screen and for customers' homes. All of our Marvel projects and Star Wars projects moving onwards will rightfully remain as smaller scale projects, without the need to film on location as much, and will give us more opportunities to shoot these projects in studios strictly, to also engage in cost-cutting measures for these productions. We will have more to announce on these changes within the next couple of months to better inform our shareholders on our new direction for all divisions and business models here at Disney. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Bob Iger is truly a force of nature when it comes to Disney. I mean, he's like a hurricane wrecking everything. And we know that this is another prime example as well of how Bob Iger really just has no intention to improve anything. You know, in what person's right mind would they really stick with Disney Plus and pay more money when Disney is removing said content that may not be as popular as they had hoped? For example, Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny, or some of the Star Wars films, or anything related to the Disney remakes of the past animated classics. Not looking good, alright? Not looking good at all. 2024 is a very barren year to begin with, very empty for themselves when it comes to movie theater releases. They're really heavily relying on streaming this year, that's the big thing, and already it's off to a bad start with the Echo series, kind of meeting a very anticlimactic part of that show that's really making a lot of people run away from the Agatha show already, let me tell you that. So overall, I would really like to hear what you all have to say about this ongoing scenario below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.